Hello everyone, Stitching Blues here, Mary Lisa.
Nanette, how are you doing?
And I hope y'all are doing well this cold winter.
We're freezing.
Yes. But the sun is out.
The sun is out, but I just came back from Florida, so I went from 82 to 0.
Well, I came back from the coast also.
So she was in
but it was 50 down there, and the wind was atrocious.
I mean, my drive, tornadoes, I hope everybody's okay in Alabama and everything, because as I drove on Saturday a week ago, there was 11 tornadoes that touched down, and I had a horrible time trying to find gas. Everything was out with electricity. It was pretty much a nightmare drive. When I hit the base, I mean, the poor guard, he just goes, and I was just like, he goes that way. No problem. I know where Billeting is. I went to there and just,
But I'm glad you made it back.
Yeah, we made it back.
So.
It was good. Had a wonderful time in Florida. I got everything done that I needed to get done. And you had a great time in Biloxi.
Yes, I had just a weekend with my daughter just to get away.
Right. Facials.
No, we had mani-pedis.
Oh, look at this, mani-pedis. Okay, so yeah, I was going to say, nice nail polish. So.
Hey, and I went with red.
Ooh, yeah. So.
My daughter's, that looks so much like, she went for Tiffany blue.
Ooh, Tiffany blue.
But, and I got my, Miss Goldie had her hair done today. My little puppy dog, and she promptly, this is the bow she lost 5 seconds after coming in the door.
She's not a girly girl.
Yeah.
She wants it gone. Yeah, the other one's gone too. So
it's in the yard though.
It's in the yard somewhere. So,
but they're all over there piled up asleep.
Yeah, for those 10 seconds. So
yeah, But we've had. I was supposed to stitch on my trip, and I didn't do one. I slept. I relaxed. I did nothing.
Right.
And I like that for a change, because I just think I was just overwhelmed with some stuff, personal stuff.
Yeah.
You know how things get.
Everybody has it. We all have family. We all have, our monkeys and circuses going on all the time.
I was tired of the circus. So,
Yeah.
But it was
Well,
nice.
there's a lot going on because you had Christmas and then, the contractors and this.
Yeah, they're still working on remodeling my, let me clarify that. They have not done any work since before Christmas on my bathroom. So we're down a bathroom, and they came out this week after I got back, and the cabinets have been measured. So they have to redo.
Oh, I haven't heard that one yet. Oh, yeah. So sorry.
So we have another week.
Yeah, another week. Okay. So of non-pressure shower bathroom upstairs. Okay.
Yes, I went to the hotel where I stayed, and
it was fabulous, wasn't it?
Took my shower there, and I'm going, oh my God.
Water pressure.
You don't realize it, but it means to a good shower.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I live in a small town, and we just had new piping come through, because it hasn't been since 1940 that they put the piping. I know, 1940. So a lot of us experience problems with our piping because we're not used to that much water pressure. I mean, literally blowing, it wasn't. Yeah, we had to do some tweaking on the house, and just to accommodate the new water pressure. Yeah. Because my faucets weren't ready for that. They've been there for a long time. So I think the bathroom inside they put it in 1941.
Wow.
So still original faucets. Yeah. So we had to do a little tweaking. But it's okay.
But hopefully everyone is doing well, and beside the water pressure, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
We made it through we're still, at least winter came.
Yeah, it did.
As soon as winter comes and serves us with some bad stuff for a little while.
Yeah, I drove in and there was snow. I mean, I saw snow.
That's right.
It snowed. So I said, I just drove in and it's snowing. So, welcome back to Memphis. So.
But we've had fun, and
now I have done some stitching, just because
I did stitching before I left.
Right.
I will say that. So I do have some updates from our last video that I did.
We're going to talk about Harriet Salt first.
Yes.
Because we're both doing a little bit different on Harriet Salt.
Yes.
And we both come up with trials and tribulations with Harriet Salt.
Yes.
It's not that we don't love it, and we do. I love it. But the fact is we've had to change gears a little bit.
Yes.
On mine, I know I have, and because you were right here with me when I was going, what's going on? You know. So, what was your problems? Tell them about your problems with Harriet.
Going back and forth with the patterns and this big piece of fabric.
Right.
I actually now take a picture of the pattern on my mini pad over here, and I blow it up to the one letter.
Right.
And I can see from so far away. I don't have to
keep put it back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, up and down, up down. I'll go 3 stitches this way. Okay, now I can look up. It's blown up. I can see it. But I'm only doing a page at a time versus you're going.
I'm going across.
Straight across.
What else? Tell them what else you've had, and I'll talk about what I'm doing. So you're doing. So are you marking yours? No, do you get to mark on your pad? And
I could, but it didn't. What I decided. Finish a letter at a time. I don't have to. Once I do a letter, I know it's done. I can move to the next one.
So show yours, and I'm going to show mine. So I'm doing mine all the way across.
And this is done on a week's fabric, linen, Parchment, and it's a 36 count linen.
Right.
And I'm doing this with Silks for You, Hank I've got from them, and this is almost a page.
Right. Okay.
I'm really happy with the progress I made. I could make more. And when I do come, I will say, when I do come to the edge of a page, depending on how much is on one page or the other, I do that letter.
Okay, good.
Because like the B, almost all of it was on one, so I just went ahead and did it. So
now this is what I've done, and I'm going across just for my own peace of mind, I guess. Even though I measured and measured and measured, you always got that peace of mind that it's not going to be big enough. And I've done all this work. And then we were saying, what if it doesn't fit? And I said, then we've got a freaking load, a lot of pin cushions. We're making them for everybody, So she just horrified at that. You should have seen her face. So I'm going across. Now this is 28. I'm going to have extra on the side, and that's fine because I'm actually going to frame mine, which I already have, which is kind of presumptuous because it's like 2 years down the road. But being prepared. Mine's 28 count, and I coffee tea dyed and baked it. So it actually is probably at a 29 right there, kind of a little bit. But we found out when I was doing it with the threads, and that's what I'm doing these for. So
take it up close.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it up close. These actually are probably thick enough that it would be DMC 2 strands. Well, on 28 count, you need to do 1 strand. Because I started it, and oh my, I was like, I stitch in hand, and it wasn't working out. I was having all kinds of problems with this. So I had to go to a hoop, and I was stitching hand. Wow, has this slowed me down? Because I'm not stitching in hand, but I'm pulling this too tight, with this thread. Also, I'm having problems because it is so thick that I had to go to a waxer. I don't think I can remember the last time I waxed a project. A long time ago, probably. And I was embroidering. I think it was an embroidery project. I actually had to wax it because of the material. But yeah, I had to get the waxer out. I had to get a hoop out. So I'm waxing every thread, and I'm only cutting it probably about 6 inches long.
Oh, it is.
So I'm constantly threading. I mean, my back looks great, I promise. Look, back, that's the back. And I'm really having to tuck my threads. But it's been a challenge because when I was like, what is going on here? I'm actually pulling through the fabric.
Oh. Well, I've noticed one of the things I had problems with was my needle. Yeah. My needle was too big for my thread, and I'd never encountered that before. I've always gone through a 28 count, or I forgot what I was using. And I had to go through like 3 or 4 different needles to find one that would glide, because I am doing mine in hand. Right. And so I was surprised. I've never had that issue before. Right. But it was interesting.
We all have had problems, and the fact is, I'm only doing mine an hour a day. So I'm trying to get a letter done, which I've gotten. I'm caught up with everything I've done. So I'm either ahead of the schedule.
Well, the other thing that's interesting that you're doing 3 colors.
I am. I was thinking that probably that in the orphan at the sampler that they didn't have the threads, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it, that they were working with what they had. So I didn't want to use a variegated floss, but I wanted to use the packet because I was thinking basically that the girls worked with what they had. So I was looking at how it would, they would use different colors. And that's what I'm doing with that one. And that's fine. I like the way it is. I was thinking, we were talking about, and maybe a coffee dyed it at the end, but then we were so scared about the red. Red, you're always terrified it's going to bleed.
Yes.
And we were actually talking about this, that with some of these big projects, do we need to actually, like I knit. So I knit a swatch to see how my gauge is going to be. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this. Do we need to actually maybe, do a little swatch on something, and we were talking about this, because you found out about the needle. I would have found out about the thread. Okay, I'm already this far. I'm working with the thread. I've already bought it. I'm using the material because this is a big piece of material.
Yeah.
So we're both looking at how much we spent to do this, and this is a long-term project.
Yeah.
This is, so this is what, 30, probably 35? How much do you think? How much for the material? 30?
About 45.
Okay, about $45, not counting the thread. So the
Yeah.
thread. So it's, we were talking about, do we need to swatch a little bit? So when you knit something, you actually swatch your gauge. So you take the thread and you knit it up and see how it knits. And that way, I have gotten to something where I knitted something before and I had to change my needles because I was swatching it and it was too tight for the needles that I was stitching. I had to go up. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, next time maybe if I'm looking at a bigger project like this, this probably won't, but maybe I need to look at it a little bit closer because I would have changed my thread.
Yeah.
And this fabric, I would have only used one strand and it'd be going a lot faster. I could stitch in hand.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the fun things. I mean, that's one of the more, I think, fun things.
Right.
Fun things you do when you do a stitch, especially if you veer off and try to experiment. Yeah. But that's how you learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I've left enough on either side where I can frame this really well. I've left about 3 inches, so I've got enough that I know when I do this.
But the threads, the threads are gorgeous.
They're beautiful.
But you know that it would go for a better
22 count.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with 22.
Yeah.
And that would have been 44 in linen. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing a 56 count right now, which is, because Harriet, she's a big girl. I mean, this is a big pattern. This is not for the faint of heart. This is a 2-year project unless you are glued to your chair and that's all you do. I have other stuff to stitch. I want her to be fun. I don't want her to be pressure. Yeah. So my first hour of the day, because it is so small, I'm doing her first every day. Yeah. I'm trying to get an hour in on her before I do anything else.
And this is what she will look like.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing.
It is really beautiful.
I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. But if you look her up, I mean, she is big.
Yes.
So we're not, trying to say don't do her. I'm just saying
be prepared.
Be prepared because look at your material.
And the back of this really does do a good job.
It does.
Of giving you the different counts down here.
Hello.
28, 36, 56 count.
56 count, yeah. Yeah. The blinding.
But I got tired of going back and forth on the pages. Right. So that's why I said, well, let me try. I'd seen other stitchers use their mini iPads, so I thought I'd try.
Right.
So, and I love it. And I love the Silks for You that I've got from Australia. And they have I think it's an Etsy shop I got it from. Right. But they have tons of colors, and I love it, which is really nice.
Another thing on mine, seam ripper. Oh my gosh. I had to pull out. I did one section. I'm telling you, this thread does not come out. Okay. It is there. You're not going to save the thread. So I just went ahead and cut it. I had one section. I tried to, no, just leave it alone. Just go ahead. And it's anchored. It's not going anywhere. I will mess up the material. So I've learned, just cut it at the edge. Pull it out with your needle slowly. Mm-hmm. Don't use the seam ripper. Pull it out with a thread. And it was just one little section. And I just went, oh my gosh. And the thread actually frayed. So trying to tuck it back in was very interesting. So when I started my next thread, I went ahead and laid it over like I do my other one and did a quilter's knot over it and captured it and then clipped it. Just because you weren't going to be able to thread it and tuck it. So that's another thing. Yeah. So this is a whole different squirrel with this one. And I don't know. It's just because it is so small and it is the fabric size. I mean, it looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's looking absolutely magnificent. A whole lot different because the first 3 I did in hand. I'm leaving them. I'm not going to take them out. I'll just tell you that. But it's totally different than what it does look like in the hoop when it's stretched. So this material tells me that this has to be in a hoop. But I think it would be a little bit different I was using. But I don't know if the gimme, it's just 28 counts. I'm thinking, did it mess up when I dyed it and made it that way? Or is it the fabric? So I don't know. But I'm working with it. It's fine. It's in the hoop. I've got it made. You know, it's good. It's just, I'm learning as I'm going with this now.
What kind of fabric was it before you dyed? I mean, was it, I know it's an Ada.
It is. It was, I want to say, it actually was a 26 and went to 28, almost 29 count. I'm almost at a 29 because I'm right on that line, just a little hair off from being a 29 count. Yeah. So it was a 26. Absolutely, it was in a tube. I have no idea what it was.
Oh, okay.
It was Miss Joyce's. It was in her stash, and I thought, oh, big piece of woohoo, you know, because you're looking through it. And if you don't know, Miss Joyce was a good friend of mine, and she still is. And I inherited her quilt room. Yeah, so blessed, absolutely blessed. She was a stitcher. She still knits and everything, but so I inherited her room. So cool. I know. Yeah, so a lot of stuff. Really, I've had a great time. But it was in a tube that didn't have what the material was. That was my problem. Yeah, okay. But I just, you go and you go, oh, I've got a big enough piece. I'm so excited. Because I was going to have her order one. Because she's big and you can't find it anywhere. So you have to order. But I did find a piece. So I'm working with it. I love the way I coffee tea dyed it. It turned out really well. I think I did it here with you. So it turned out very well. And I'm excited. I love the variegation in it. So it's just in process. It's just a process of having to do this. And, so I do this for my hour. And then I'm working on, I picked 7 out to do for this month. And I am working on them for about 4 hours. I think I'm doing about 4 hours a day. Yeah. So I'm stitching for 5 hours a day. No, I'm doing a 4-day rotation on mine. And that would make it even. So 4 days in stitching. But, I felt like that cat was just taking forever. But I put 2,000 stitches in it. And it doesn't look like it. I went back and actually counted. Okay, so I posted it. And I was like, that doesn't look like 2,000 stitches. But it is. And I'm just like, this poor cat doesn't even have a head yet. I mean, I have done his whole body. And I did the stars. And I kept going, I'm still not even at the head yet. I'm still stitching. I'll show you this. So this is out under one. So this, where is it?
It's at the bottom.
Of course, it's at the bottom. So I'll get it. Okay, so this is
Okay, you got it.
So this is Jumping Cat. So this is what I worked on for my 4-day rotation. So there it is.
And that is by who?
And this is by
Dames of the Needle.
Dames of the Needle. So I haven't even got to the pumpkins yet, guys. So
it's a headless cat.
It's a featherless hat. So I put all the stars and did all the absolute fill-in. And I'm telling you, that body goes on forever. It doesn't look like it, but that is 2,000 stitches I put in. And that was 4 days. 4 days. And I'm just like, oh, I'll do the head. I'll get this done. No. So, I mean, and I was really working hard to get this done. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So it's just the process. Don't think you have to push it, but it's just the way I'm doing it. But it was just frustrating that
you dyed that fabric.
I did dye that fabric.
That is Ada.
It is Ada.
And what count? Do you know?
I want to say that's 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's 18 count. So show one of yours, and then we'll go back to mine. So back and forth.
What's this? Okay. I'm working on Cheerful Valentine.
You may put it up here.
Okay.
You can tell about it. This is really pretty.
Here's the pattern.
Okay. Here you go.
Um,
So how has it been stitching?
that has been stitching okay.
What do you think of the material?
I like the material. I don't know what it is off the top of my head because it's been a while since I started that
So
one.
did you have something else over here?
Oh, originally started it over here.
This is a story. Were you not going to have
And this was the center, and it needed to go this way.
Oh.
You can show them the difference.
Oh no! I didn't know about this. Wow. Okay, so there. Oh, so it did. Did you cry?
Luckily,
No,
I'm just hoping right now that I have enough to do it on the rest of the piece.
Uh-oh.
But that's
Oh,
what I'm
look.
hoping. Oh, my
My
needle.
birthday's in July. I love pincushions.
Oh, my needle, and I'm doing this with I'm doing this with some threads I had. Victoria Motto, the poison apple, and it's a beautiful,
Oh, isn't that beautiful color? That is gorgeous. Wow, that's a hank. All right. That is beautiful. Look at that color. Wow.
I love the variegation. It's slight variegation.
It's very
on it.
slight. You can see that.
And that's what I liked about it. Except if I didn't have to stitch it over again.
Wow.
But I'm taking my time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to curve a little bit, so I just hope there's enough room over here.
Wow. Okay, you're being brave.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went back and started, and this is what I'm working on, I think, right now. This is the one, it's called The Books and the Needles and the Pen. This was by Teresa Vanette, and it was at our retreat. And so this is what I'm working on. This is, I'll start this again today. This is starting my 4th. So the pattern's private. She asked us not to show it. So I started the house. So that's what I've gotten done so far. Everything else I had, and so the house is what I've worked on so far. So, okay, what else? What do you have?
I have the mystery sampler. I'm doing this on the 36 count linen parchment, and
You left all that material there.
and I'm doing it on.
Wow, look at that hang. Wow, you
This
are.
is
That is beautiful.
Again. Oh, okay, it's come off. I've got to
Oh, okay.
here hold it there and just
Okay. Wow, this is beautiful. Look at that variegation.
And you can see the stitching in here. The variegation comes out very
What's
well.
beautiful. Wow, that does look good.
I mean, you can see how the variegation shows up really well, and that is just beautiful.
It is.
And it slides like nothing
It does.
else.
I'm sitting here going, wow, I'm surprised it's still hanging on. Yeah, because this is, wow, this is very slidey.
I can
Yeah, that's
do
beautiful.
like 100 of them, I guess.
Well, this is a lot. I mean, this is just the beginning of the pattern.
Yeah.
So I am doing the same thing. So this is the one that's on linen and threads, the mystery sampler. So this is part 1. So this is mine. So
Yeah.
I actually dyed this. And this is out of actually walnuts. So I don't know if you can see mine.
It's really pretty. Now, you dyed the thread too?
I did dye the thread also, and those are social, and it's got some variegation in it. So this is over dye. I actually had someone give me a case of pink.
She don't do pink.
And yeah, if everybody doesn't know, I don't do pink. So this is mulberry, and it's showing up a really lot orange, but it is a beautiful orange, and so that's what I'm doing it on. So, and this used to be pink.
Oh, you dropped something.
Did I drop some? Oh, but the little piece. Okay.
Every piece counts.
Every piece counts. So that's what I'm working on my section. So
The next thing, I'm working on the iStitch Design Burgundy band sampler. Now this is a 28 count band that I ordered. Forgot from who though. But this is the first week. I've got the second week I've got to work up. But it is working up really quick. I'm using my Hanks for You
It's really pretty.
red, and it's I think this is the red.
Yeah.
I can do several of those too.
I guess you can. She's got this. There's not going to be running out of thread here. That is beautiful.
Yeah. So
now I'll show you mine. Here is mine. Mine is done on a 25 count because, and I did dye it, and I also I over dyed this also. So these are actually over dyed. You see, leaves out of my yard, and that's what it turned out to be. So that's
very. It's not quite as blue as that showing up on, but it's really beautiful.
It turned out really, really well. It's always amazing to me when I over dye something exactly how it's going to turn out because it was pink.
Yeah.
So, but mine's rolled up because it's going to be a good one. This is not a small one, so that's what we're working on. What's your next? Anything?
I haven't worked on anything else other than those that I can remember.
I've got Not Forgotten Farms, Spring Farmhouse, and so I've been working on this. I actually took this with me, so I have got more done on that house.
Yeah, filling into the house is gonna.
Right. It just.
It's like the cat.
I know. It's like the cat. Yeah. We're all going, it's just like the cat. Also, I've got The Haunting. This is by The Drawn Thread. And I put some stitches in this. When I was doing this is when I started to think maybe I need to do a 4-day rotation instead of working on everything. Try a little bit every day. Because it was getting kind of overwhelming. So, this is what I've got done. So if you notice the pumpkins and all the leaves, that's what I've done. So, you know, I think the 4-day rotation is going to work better for me.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go back to the cat. I really want to get part of his head done. If I get something done, like I've already got one done.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! So I think I showed that at the last one. So what I'm going to do, if I finish it early and I have 2 days left, I'll probably go back to that cat.
Yeah.
And just try to get the head outlined just to make me feel better because, you know, he's just like a headless cat. And that's what I've been working on. I think the 4-day rotation is going to be good. I'm filling it with other stuff, and I've got other stuff to show.
Okay, go for it.
I have finished a few other things. So, I'm a knitter. And if you watch me on Instagram or whatever, this has been on my needles for 2 years. Because if you see this, I know it smells good, doesn't it? This is actually made out of a natural cotton, and this is why it has taken me 2 years to finish this.
That's folded in half.
And that's folded in half. So yesterday I spent...
It's so soft.
And I want to say this is almost like a 1,500 count cotton.
It's more of a forest green than
it is. It's showing up, but I was probably about here, and I spent 6 hours doing this. And then trying to remember how to end this, where it's straight. You know, it was a whole different story, but it's done. And then putting the tassels and everything on. Also, I am doing a mug rug exchange. So a mug rug is what you sit next to you. And I am actually, this one off, and it's January, so it's snowman month. So this one goes to my trade person. And that's just quilted, and then the back is back. So I quilted as you went. And also I just, this is a fun little pot holder that I made.
It's really sweet.
It's just cute. It's just fun. So that's what I've been doing. We all have plans coming up, I think. I'm in town. You're not in town.
I'm going out of town with my dear husband.
Going with a hubby. So, I'm planning on stitching. We're going to stitch the rest of the day, and also we're meeting up with Faye.
Yeah, Faye's birthday today.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Faye.
Happy birthday. I have a prize for you. I have a surprise for you. And yours is next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought both of them over at the same time. Mary's going to come with us, and we're going to go eat and have a great time.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's about it. Oh, we got to talk about the shop.
Yeah, well, I've got goodies I bought. I was going to show.
Oh, goodies.
I got.
Yeah, and I've got goodies too.
Yes.
I got a little goodie.
I got this from an internet sale from Michelle Garrett Michelle Bendy. It's a floss tuber, and these are her. I forgot what you called them now. They're not Bitsy Bobs. They're something else, but
they look like. I mean, they're amazing project little things. So
put your. Let me take my note out of it. She was nice. You put your bobbinates in here, and they're like that, and then you can either put your extra or your pattern in here. And
nice.
I've got this color, and of course I got my flamingo, which I love. Same thing. But then I got this nice one. If you have a bigger project, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 40. If you've got a big project, this is perfect. And that's one I gave her. And you have a nice place for
the big bag, yeah. So
that was my big fun. I wanted to try them out. It's a different method than I'm used to with storing my patterns and everything. And it's just, if you don't start experimenting, sometimes you find out something you like. I wasn't happy. You have all this mess of in a baggie. I wanted, especially I've got a Marabella with like 100 different colors, and I want to be able to see them instead of digging through them, and this is a perfect way I think I can do that.
Right.
Other than putting them on a ring in alphabetical, but then you have to unclip. So I'm going to try this method and let you know how I like it.
Right, that's good.
I've got a lot.
We're expanding our horizons. Yes. It's just working a better way for us.
Well, if you don't try different techniques, the newer stuff out, you just don't. You may. I didn't realize the loop method of knotting, of starting a project with 2 threads, up until about 5 years ago.
Right.
And if you don't know what to loop, you took the 2 ends in the needle, and then you've got a loop at the bottom. You go up, and then you catch the loop, and it knots.
Right. It's perfect. It's wonderful.
How easy is that? But I've been stitching forever.
Because I've been stitching since I was 5, and so mine was a sampler, and you've been stitching since
about 8 or 9. I did a pillowcase my grandma taught me.
Right, nice.
So,
my grandma did too. Yeah, it was a I want to say it was a sampler iron on muslin, you know. And we were talking about different stories today. We've had some fun, and we're going to tell you more about our trials and tribulations of stitching. You know, we've actually wounded ourselves before on stitching, so. Not just with the needle, you know. So as time has grown, we have developed, because products have developed better. Yeah. You know, needles, you know, because when I was a kid, you just stitched with the needle you had. So it was sharp. You know? Yeah. So let's talk about the shop. I think we're at the shop time.
Yes. We've got Heartstring Samplery sent us their new
one.
They're not in the shop. They'll be in the shop tonight.
Yeah.
But they're really, I love the be kind
words never die.
It is so sweet.
This is so sweet.
It's a
How
nice
cute is that?
Cushion.
Very cute.
Top or whatever.
What a great gift to make for somebody. That would be absolutely wonderful.
That should be a quick. I say that.
Yeah, we all. Okay. Now this is my jam. This is absolutely Piece Band Sampler, the red work. Oh my gosh. I
have got right now 4 samplers in red.
I know. Look at that. And we're just like, no, we can't start another thing.
That is so beautiful. And
that is absolutely magnificent.
They will be in the shop this afternoon.
That's wonderful. And then we got Harriet Salt.
We got them in. And one of the other newer ones that been released by Hands Across the Sea, Batham, I think that's how it's right, which is a reversible one. And Hands Across the Sea Nicola Parchment has put out a workshop tutorial, and you can go to her website and do that, but for specialty stitch. And this one is 2 bands. No, it's 1 band. They just show the back.
It's the back and the front.
Reversible.
Wow.
And so, it's gorgeous. But we have that in our shop now.
Right,
too,
very nice.
And as well as the Usopp sisters.
Right.
We have those and
I've been showing those on Facebook and Instagram. So,
but the shop is doing well, so thank you for all.
So, if you're watching us, please subscribe to the button and everything. We're going to be coming back trying every week to show our updates. with mine doing the forward rotation, I'll probably have 3, maybe 2 or 3 items to show that I'm going to work on, unless I finish something. Yeah, right. These are big projects.
Finish something, I know.
I know. Well, you're going to be gone with hubby, so, I'll be stitching.
Also, we're preparing for market in March. So just email us, link conversation
down below, you'll see them
and ask a question. If you want something, just let us know. We'd be glad to.
We're going to actually be mailing from market. Okay, so if you see anything, just let us know, because we're going to have the printer. We'll have everything. The moment we get it is the moment
in the shop.
It's going in the shop. We will be posting and we'll be mailing them out that day.
So let us know if we can do anything for you. We'd be glad to help. Because
if you have any questions about what we've shown you, or you have a question about something, if you're a new stitcher, I mean, we're here.
Down below a question.
Yeah,
and we'd be glad to answer.
We can message you, because we were all beginners. I'm still learning. I've been doing this for over 40 years now.
I won't say how long.
Yeah, 40 years now. So, but it's always been my happy place. Yeah. It always has been.
On our EGA front, which I will be missing, we're doing Stitch in Public at Panera's in Memphis on Poplar Avenue. If you're in the Memphis area, come join us.
It'll be the first Saturday.
First Saturday in February.
Right.
And so we'd love to have you stop by, see what we're up to, and
we'll have some little projects.
I won't be there.
I'll have some projects to hand out and some fun things. Also, I'm going to have a drawing surprise. Yeah, so I've gone through some of my stuff and things that I'm never going to stitch. I mean, they've been given to me, and there's some just amazing brand new patterns that are just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. But you can only stitch so much. Yeah. So I'm picking out what I know I love, and my tastes have changed over the years. Yeah. I don't have as many friends the children are grown now, so I'm not doing birth announcements, and I'm not doing baby bibs for everybody, and and that was a lot. I mean, so every time a child was born, I was doing some kind of, I was stitching a lot. Me and Pat were over there, and we were both doing baby announcements, and and I was like, I don't want to see pink again, So, but our tastes have changed, and I don't have the people that are having the kids and stuff like that. So we moved on to, I'm stitching for me now, which is good. Yes, so it's fun, and what I like, and that's the fun part.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Well, anything else you think?
I think we've covered it, just about everything. So.
It's a good day.
It is. It's the sun's out, and we're over freezing, I think now.
Yeah, I think
we're
so.
Over freezing. So,
but we'll be in touch with you. I've got to hurry up and
I know. Save the puppy over here. There's an interesting. She stopped, so we're okay.
I got caught.
Bella is trying to climb off the couch, and Socks is like,
Socks is an 18-year-old, and she just, and Bella got caught, and so she got back on her bed.
Yeah, we thought we were going to have to run real quick because she was going to try to climb up. She gets up on the couch, and Socks doesn't move, and she thinks it's okay, and she can lay on her. So we try to grab to her all the time. So she got back down, so we're okay. And that's why we all both, our eyes went over going, no, don't do it. So that's always a adventure.
Disaster averted. But with that, we'll say goodbye and keep on stitching. Yeah. And enjoy this time. Yeah. Relaxation. Stitching is fun.
Yeah. Enjoy what you're working on. Because if you're not enjoying what you're working on, put it down and walk away and see what else you want to pick up. Yeah. Don't work on something you don't want to work on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because sometimes it just gets to the point where you're just like, I don't want to work on this anymore.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I watch her and I'm like, are you okay? I don't want to work on this anymore. I said, well, pick something else. I said, like, you don't have a few things going. We'll just stop at that before she'll whack me.
Well, with that, have a great
bye.
And bye.